Brought to you by Envision Clothing Company. Use my code Kelly10 for 10% off of your next purchase. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. So, how's it going today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. And so I gotta ask you about the whole Arbonne. I'm saying it right.
Okay.
Arbonne.
Yep, Arbonne.
Okay. So you gotta explain to me what this whole thing is, or what it's all about.
Okay, so I was a little skeptical when I first learned about it too, because a lot of people are skeptical about it. But my upline, her name is Wendy Holmes, and she's from Chatham. Um, so the one thing that really boggled my mind when I talked to her was, okay, Chatham, small town Chatham, and she had the Mercedes Benz from Arbonne. So I'll get into that a little bit later. But so I was like, wow, okay. And I was at my work, Kokomo's, which is a tanning salon, and she had her Mercedes Benz in the parking lot. And I went out and I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, I want this. And then she's like, yeah, my job gave it to me. And she asked me if I had ever heard about Arbonne, and I said no. So I actually friended her on Facebook, and I friended her on Instagram, and I followed her, and I saw that she was living her dream life and doing it all with Arbonne. So I asked her about it, and then I actually reached out to her, and then I actually blew her off 4 times about not four, maybe 3. We were supposed to have a video chat to learn about it, and I blew her off. So then when I actually learned about the business, the concept of the business is so simple. We're using these products anyway.
Okay.
So Arbonne has a nutrition line, it has a skincare line, it has a bath and body line, and it has a hair line, and then cosmetics also. So we're using these products anyway. So what we teach people is to shift their shopping. So stop shopping at Shoppers for Clean and Clear, which actually has a lot of toxins in it.
No doubt.
And which Arbonne doesn't. Arbonne bans over 2,000 ingredients. It's based off of European standards. And I can talk about the founder of Arbonne a little bit and his mission. So basically, we're buying these products anyway. So we just teach you, stop buying them from Shoppers and GNC, and stop making the CEOs of Shoppers and GNC rich, and start making yourself rich, because you get 35 to 50% off the product anyway. And when you reach district manager in the company, which I've only been in the company for 3 weeks, and I'll be hitting district manager by the end of this weekend, I get paid 35% commission on my own sales. So when I buy skincare for myself, I get 35% of that back into my bank account the following Tuesday.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's really, really, really exciting.
So it's almost even though, I get it, there's some companies, if you're a brand ambassador to certain companies, so it would work someone have to use your code to buy a product, and then you get that commission. But yet, in your case, if you buy it yourself, you kind of get commission in a way, you basically get a huge discount, which is awesome. You do,
and the thing is with Arbonne, we don't we're not salesy. I don't reach out to people and say, hey, buy my product, because we aren't trying to shove product down your face. Arbonne is the key to, hey, I want to stay home with my kids, or hey, I want time and money freedom, or for instance, people my age are realizing that they don't want to work 9-to-5 jobs. They want to travel, or they want to do what they're passionate about in their life, but they don't have the time to do it. So we're realizing by the simple concept of shifting our shopping and teaching others to do the same. So I've made my team grow already. I'm teaching others that if you just do this for yourself and then you show others the same same concept, you can make a 6-figure income from Arbonne. And so many people are already doing it.
That's awesome. That's just, I don't know, to hear something like that, that's crazy. I think that's awesome.
is literally so crazy. I could talk about it forever because there's so much people are uneducated about. Or what I always say is like pre-assumptions or assumptions kill the bird before the bird flies.
Okay.
So if you're sitting like a lot of people will say Arbonne's a pyramid scheme, but Arbonne isn't a pyramid scheme because pyramid schemes are illegal. And I don't get money. I don't make any money from signing up girls on my team.
Right.
I don't make anything off of them. Our mission is to show others to live their best life.
Right.
To become the best version of themselves, to step out of their comfort zone, to make connections with people, because it's all about making connections.
Mm-hmm.
Like we connected at the gym.
Right.
And like just becoming a better version of you and helping others along the way. So I love Arbonne because there's like so many things that it ties into my life, and helping others is a big thing for me.
100%. And yeah, so like if you could explain some of the products that you have here, like the ones that you brought. So what are some of the products that, like you said that they were your favorites. So
okay. So I brought some of my favorite products. So this is a fizzy.
Okay.
And I actually have it in my water bottle right now. Actually, I have the Mind Health in there too.
Okay.
So all of Arbonne's products are gluten-free, soy-free. Actually, you can have one.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
You can put it in your water.
Okay, fair enough.
So what a fizzy is it has caffeine in it, but only a little bit. It also has ginseng. It tastes really good. It gives you that little bit of energy boost, but it doesn't cause you a crash. Because if you have coffee, it causes a crash usually afterwards. I don't know if you experience that. I don't know if you drink coffee. Do you drink coffee?
I do, but I don't experience the crash. I think like with energy drinks, 100% I get that crash.
Because what happens with actually yes, energy drinks more than coffee usually.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're drinking it black, you should be fine. But if you're drinking an energy drink, the reason you crash afterwards is because you just sent your insulin levels so high, and then they drop because of the sugar in it. And this has no added sugars.
But what about like the energy drinks that are like sugar free? Like I know that they're gonna add a lot of like stuff that you shouldn't have in your system in there.
They have additives that still rises your like glucose levels, and that's why you send your insulin levels so high, and then they drop. This is my nursing background coming.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a lot of like background on the body, having gone through like what I went through and like nursing, so I know a lot about the human body.
All right, fair enough.
So yes, these are fizzies. They're all natural. Like their products are added. Like I can't speak right now. The additives are like botanically derived. So it's the best of nature meets the best of science.
Okay.
So we banned 2,000 ingredients. We're gluten free. We're soy free. We're peanut free. We are non-GMO. We are paraben free. We don't have petrolatum in any of our product, which petrolatum is derived from gasoline, which is in a lot of skincare, a lot of whey proteins, a lot of...
Wow.
Yes, it's very bad for you. So we banned over 2,000 ingredients that are actually not supposed to be in our body. Our mission is to detoxify the human body. Arbonne's #1 saying is healthy living from inside to out. And they are globally the #1 company in the world for healthy living inside and out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you don't usually find too many products that are that down to the point like that. I want to use the term healthy, but like yeah, healthy, like very like how can you go wrong with it? Like would you tell me that there's a catch to it or?
So there is no catch to Arbonne.
Okay.
Some companies that you sign up with, you like have to make a certain amount each month, like a certain amount of money each month, or you like get charged, or you like you can't be a part of it anymore. But Arbonne is your business.
Right.
It is however you want to work it. So if you want to work this business and get to the top level of the company, you can do that. And people like our age have been doing that in 9 months. They have gotten to regional vice president and they have gotten to national vice president and have received their Mercedes-Benz and are making over $1 million a month.
Wow, that's nuts.
No, I want you to follow Peyton's Progress on Instagram afterwards.
What's her name?
Peyton's Progress.
Okay.
She is an Arbonne independent consultant and a national vice president.
All right.
And she is making $1 million a month, and she has a Mercedes from Arbonne, all because she took a chance on herself, and she realized that she wanted a better life, and she figured, hey, what the heck? What if this does work? A lot of people always look at what if this doesn't work, but you have to shift your mindset and be like, what if this does work?
Right, like you got to kind of take risks, right? Like, I'd like taking risks because I think that, when it comes to, or any kind of job, I think, sometimes you can't look at the negative things. You got to think about, okay, it could work. I think that there's that, you kind of have to be like half glass full kind of.
You do. And I always say that anything in life worth having, you have to work for it.
Right.
And I caught myself yesterday, I think, and I was just drained, mentally and physically drained, because I've been just go.
Right.
And I told myself, you know what, I'm just going to grind it out for now. Because if I have to grind it out for a year or two, or, well, not 2, but definitely a year. If I have to grind it out right now to get the life that I want in 2 or 3 years, then that is so worth it. Like, yeah, I'm not going to look back and be like, oh my God, that was like, yeah. It's more the journey than the destination, right?
Right.
It's who you become in this journey. If that makes sense.
Yes. And I think and I mean that's just amazing to hear like a company and how, and you said you're an ambassador, right?
Yeah, so we don't say we're selling products. We say right. I'm a brand, or I'm a lifestyle ambassador for Arbonne.
Okay.
Because I'm not shoving product on your face. I am showing you that you can have a better life. You can make a 6-figure income for yourself if you'd like, by simply shifting your shopping and showing others to do the same. So you're just switching where you shop.
That's awesome.
And then you just brand it into your life. Any person can do this business. I love fitness because it's gotten me to where I am and who I am today.
Likewise.
Right?
Right. I mean, I think, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think with fitness, I mean, I remember I think you shared something about one of your products about how it helps with I know it's a little bit different from fitness, but I think you were talking about one of the products helps with your digestive system or something like that.
Yes.
And how your digestive it affects with your mental, with your mind, and how it can really change everything. Of course, fitness, I think, when I don't go to the gym, I mean, of course, it's good to take a day off, but I know when I need to go, and I feel so much better after. So I think fitness, I think for anybody can be a pretty good thing. I mean, for some, I think there can be a negative aspect if you're working out too much, or that could be another story. But
that was me at one point in my life.
Really, you were working out too much?
We can touch upon that later.
Okay.
But I was definitely overdoing it. Touching upon how you said you feel better.
Yeah.
I read the book, The Body Book by Cameron Diaz, and it's an amazing book. And in there it talks about how our body actually craves movement. So as human beings, we crave movement. So for anyone who lays in bed all day, there's a reason why you feel slump.
100%.
There's a reason why you feel hungry more. You actually feel more hungry on a day that you lay in bed all day and do nothing, because you're not actually hungry. You just think you're hungry because your body is telling you to give it water or to get up and move.
Mm-hmm.
And people mistaken that with boredom hunger. And then they go back and they lay down and they don't do anything.
That's really interesting.
Isn't it?
I never really would have thought of that, but that's really, really good. You said it was the book that Cameron Diaz wrote?
It's called The Body Book.
Okay.
By Cameron Diaz. The first chapter, there's 3 parts to the book. The first part is talking about nutrition.
Okay.
And our macronutrients and how important they are for our whole body, all 4 of them. And then it talks about fitness. And then it talks about the mind and how our mind plays a huge part in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's phenomenal. It's changed me as a person after I read it. Especially going through my eating disorder. I read it when I was kind of midway through that, I guess, or recovering still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with like eating, I don't know like how comfortable you are about talking about it, but like so
Super
what
open
like
about it now.
what was it that you weren't eating, or was it you were eating too much?
So actually where it all started was I dated a boy in grade 12 for a year, and then we broke up. And I think I was very emotionally damaged because I think, one, I invested so much of my happiness into this person
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't establish who I was as an individual. And at 18, you're still discovering who you are. And it's really, really critical to still be independent.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not independent. I remember, like, I was just so attached to him. And when we broke up and it was kind of rocky. His friends like called me cunts. He called me a cunt. I found out he lied to me. He took pictures of my friend off my phone that shouldn't be going around, and he sent them to himself when I was not around, and then he ended up sending them all over like the high school, and they had all seen them.
Oh, was it like an exclusive picture?
Yes.
Oh, so was it more like just like as a
Like
joke?
it was our girly girl
Okay,
chat, and it was
gotcha.
a picture that shouldn't have gone around, and he
Right.
lied to me about it while we were dating, and I defended him with everything I had because I thought like he would not do that. Like he's a way better person than that.
Mm-hmm.
And to find out that he actually did that, it was just so like I don't know, like it just kind of it's just like a stab in the back. It makes you wonder like am I not like good enough physically for
Mm-hmm.
you, like, and then that's like my best friend and you did that, like, and you lied to me. Lying is a big thing for me. I have a lot of trust, and it takes a long time for me to actually trust someone. So lying is a huge thing for me, and he did that. And then after we broke up, he called me a cunt. He acted like I was dead, and I went to the same school as him.
What an asshole.
And he literally put me so low in my self-esteem that I developed an eating disorder. I was emotionally eating. That's where it happened. I was emotionally eating,
Okay.
and I had lost 100 pounds in high school.
Right.
And I ended up putting 25 pounds back on, and I felt disgusting. I wasn't going to the gym. I didn't have energy. I was miserable. My parents were separating at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a rough childhood with my parents, so that's another part of why you like why you establish an eating disorder. I learned in nursing is the childhood stage is very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
And my like childhood was just really rough with both my parents.
Right.
And then they were separating, so I had a lot going on. So I was eating a lot, and then I felt really shitty about myself, so I was throwing it up.
Yeah, that must have been tough.
It was so tough. I actually brought my journal here today because I didn't know like how far we were going to go into depth about it, but I journaled a lot, and there is some pages in there that like I was at my lowest point,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so scary to read those pages. But sometimes I go back and read them and realize how far I've come in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't dwell on what I went through now because I know that it's made me who I am today, and
Right.
it's made me a stronger person. And now I kind of want to help other people realize that like you are enough and you are worth it, and it's all about a mindset, and you have to wake up every day and realize that like God has bigger plans for you and you do deserve this life. Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah, that must have been tough
It
for
was
sure.
really hard.
I think that, sometimes you have to sometimes go through hard times in life to kind of understand the value of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think, I think it doesn't really matter what it is. I think once everybody everybody goes through shit in life, but I think that
It's how you handle
it's
it.
how you handle it. And I think a lot of people, there's some people that they go through life and they think this is how life is. And I think that when you go through something in your life, like I said, it makes, like it kind of, it gives you a different value of yourself, and it gives you a different look on life. And I think you learn to respect yourself and others more. And I mean,
110%.
yeah, and Like for myself, like my ex, she cheated on me. Not just once, twice. The first time it was more
I
like
really don't like cheating.
and when I said I agree with you with the line, that's kind of part of it. Um, but like the first time I kind of saw it, like oh like like oh she didn't know what she's doing, drinking too much, blah 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 blah. And then like at the time you think, well, how stupid were you to think that? But when in the moment you just you don't want to lose something that you think you have. You don't want to lose something that
You're
think.
comfortable.
Yeah, you're
and
comfortable.
You've invested a lot of time in, and you're scared to see what your life would be at because you don't know.
Right.
It's the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Anxiety.
100%. And so I just kind of ignored it, like okay, she says she's sorry, blah 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 blah, and tell me all these things, like promise me and all this, and she did for the longest time, as far as I'm concerned, because she's from London, and after that, it really gave me a lot of anxiety. Like she went out a lot. I mean, she's in my opinion, I'm not a fact, but my parents have agreed with me. She's an alcoholic. She's a functioning alcoholic, and
a lot of people our age think that the only way to have fun is to drink alcohol.
Oh, I know, and it does. I'm not gonna lie. It is fun.
It's fun.
It is fun.
But there is a limit, I think.
100%. I think like there's something wrong. Like for me, I barely drink because it's like it's nothing for me.
I don't drink either because it's not worth it to feel like crap the next day to me.
Exactly.
Personally.
And for me, like going out and once in a while going to the movies with my friends, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's fun, and
you can hang out with Austin. He loves to go to the movies.
Man, I gotta have that guy on here for
he
podcasts.
Loves the gym too. You guys will be best friends.
Oh man,
he needs new friends that are nice.
Well, he's got too many like.
No, his friends are nice. They're just I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Say no more. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, and I think like I just kind of ignored it. But then I kind of saw things like how shitty of a person she was becoming, and seeing how negative effect she was, not just not just as me, but like my fitness. And she would always put me down like, oh, you work out too much. It's like, well, no, I need to go because I pay for a gym membership and I'm self-reliant. Like there's things I need to pay for, and there's things that I need to take care of myself. Like I can't just say, okay, screw it, I'm not going to go to the gym. Like I gotta, and she just, I think she didn't get reality too, and that was the big part of a lot of things. And she was just really nasty. Like very passive aggressive.
I think it's really important to just surround yourself, because if you surround yourself, what I learned is if you surround yourself with a negative environment, you start turning into a negative person.
100%.
And if that's not the life you want to live, or if that's not the lifestyle you're choosing, then you need to surround yourself with people who are going to be positive and bring out the better side of you and be uplifting. And that's why I personally think that we vibe so good together, because I know that we both have that connection with the gym. We both have that mentality that we want a better life for ourselves, and we're both supportive, I think, of each other's goals. I'm super excited to be on your podcast. I'm so excited to help you get out there a little bit more. But
as well for you, then that's why I asked you. Bring some else up.
Thank you.
No problem.
But it's so important to surround yourself with good people, and people that are going to bring better, the best version of you out. And I really realized that with the person I'm with, Austin. He brings out the best version of me. I personally suffer from anxiety, and I take anxiety meds, and some days are worse than others, but he's really good at putting me back into that good mindset. And if I lack motivation, he's really good at kind of saying hey Britt, I know what you want in life, just shake it off. And I just have to breathe for 5 seconds. Or he tells me to meditate. Meditate's really good. But yeah, it's really important. And some advice, girl advice.
Sure, go ahead.
If you are going to ever be with a girl, you need to make sure she adds value to your life and not
100%.
And not devalues your life. Because if the person you're with is devaluing your life, then you shouldn't be with them. They need to make you a better person.
Well, and when you say that, I totally agree, and that's something that I had to learn. I think I already knew it, but I wasn't applying it. And after everything that happened, the second time happened, and obviously I broke up with her, and seeing a lot of things, how so many things changed, I said, you know what, I deserve better. and I've been really careful and trying to make sure I find someone that's not just, of course, I mean, I think you got to be physically attracted to someone, but that's not always the important things. It's someone that will bring value to you, and someone that, I mean, you're not going to find someone that's going to be completely the same as you,
No.
but to have someone that can be on the same page and can have that value to you and help build the person that you are. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say about Austin. Like Austin's that kind of guy that is no matter what is going to be there for you, and that's really really important.
Well,
And
for one, you definitely need to make it like, yeah, it's good to have differences, but if you guys have the same morals and values and goals in life, not the same goals, but the same goal, like you're goal orientated and you guys want to meet your goals, then they're great for you. They don't have to love everything. Like Austin loves superheroes, and I'm trying to jump on that train to support him.
you gotta go see Avengers.
I will. We are going this weekend, I think.
Awesome.
But I'm trying to jump on that train, but like every time we watch a superhero movie, I'm probably doing Arbonne, and like I'm kind of watching a superhero movie, and then I'm doing Arbonne at the same time. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm paying attention, kind of. But because I want to support him and I want to be there for him, they are actually good when I do pay attention. So it's really important that you guys have that. And then another thing, to be physically attracted to them is very, very important. Obviously. But it's more of the personality thing because they're not going to look like that in 50 years.
Well, and exactly.
And you want to be like, I call Austin and I the power couple. My little cousin, actually, she's 6 years old. Her name's Ella. She called us the power couple. And now I'm like, yeah, we are a power couple because we really do strive to be the best versions of ourselves. We're kind of competitive with each other. He gets a new personal training job, and I'm like, well, shit, my company needs to hit the roof now. Like, so we're kind of competitive, so it kind of keeps it fun. And but you really need someone who is going to bring out the best version of you, or makes you work towards the best version of you, I think.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm kind of learning. And when things happen, I know I keep going to like when I broke up with her, but when things happened, I kind of learned to work on myself because I think my motto in life is to respect other people or to trust other people. You got to trust and respect yourself first.
Exactly.
And you got to love yourself before you can love someone else. And I think that's
so
the most important thing. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why you see a lot of things happen. Fail, but even a lot of people aren't happy because I think truly they're not happy with themselves.
Exactly.
And I think that's what the problem was with my ex, was she just doesn't love herself, and part of it, her being an alcoholic. And I mean, I could go on about alcoholism, like I know a lot about it. It's around my life.
Mine too.
And but like, I think that because she's got that because she's got that alcoholic disease, because she has almost like a wall, like it's all about me and selfishness, and I think that played a lot of part in our relationship. So I don't know, there's a lot of things I've learned from it, and that's like what I'm saying about going back to like going into events that happen in your life, like things that you don't want to happen but they do. That's how it makes you a stronger person.
Life is all about lessons.
Yeah.
And if we are never ever in the trenches of life, we are never going to ever rise to the top, because we didn't have those lessons to overcome and learn and be a better person and strive to be better and know that, okay, it didn't work this way, so now I need to do it a different way. So you need to go through those hardships. I always say the people who are strongest in life are the people who went through that was weird. A really, really, really hard time. Because it's all about how you choose to overcome that time. You can dwell on it, or you can make something of yourself. You know?
No, I hear what you're saying.
And we are so fortunate because I hated technology before I started Arbonne. I absolutely hated social media. I thought we all used it for the wrong reasons. People are negative, but I just learned that, you know what, if someone is negative, I'm going to unfollow them because I don't want to see any of their negativity. I will radiate positivity. I will drip on everyone I walk by because I want them to feel good because like we are meant to feel happy as humans. We aren't meant to be sad or anxious or depressed. Like that's not why we're here. There's a bigger purpose why we're here and you just kind of have to sit with yourself and establish and realize that there is bigger things.
Right. And talking about social media, I had a question for you, and I've been thinking about it. I would have asked anybody. I even asked my mom. I kind of asked her this morning because I wanted a woman's perspective on it. So,
Okay.
but then my mom couldn't really answer because she doesn't really have Instagram, and she's much older, so she's not in that generation. But what do you think? And I've been really thinking about it a lot. What do you think about people in their fitness and Instagram accounts? Do you think that there's some people that it's all about attention seeking. I mean, I don't want to like come off negative, but
Yeah.
like for especially like I guess I'll get a woman's perspective on women that um, promote themselves on Instagram, like ones that will. I mean, there's nothing wrong with showing progress. So, for example, if you were 50 pounds heavier, and then so say in January you're 50 pounds heavier, and then by June you lost all those 50 pounds, and you want to show off where you lost all that fat. Do you think that it's like what do you think about women that just show off like like certain body parts like look how nice of a booty I got, and it's almost like I don't want to like come off as like a douche, but it's almost like it kind of it's very attention seeking, like look at me, it's like
I don't see. I used to kind of think that way too, but you have to open your mind because, again, this goes back to the assumption thing. You
right,
can't assume that they're seeking um, attention. You have to
right,
assume or keep your mind open because I just talked to one of my girlfriends the other day who I actually just met. She works at Austin's gym
mm-hmm.
and she's trying to brand herself. And we had a conversation because she went through binge eating disorder.
Okay,
And she was talking about how she's been working so hard in her fitness. She
mm-hmm.
wants to be a personal trainer. Well, she is a personal trainer now. She wants to do online fitness coaching. And she posts a lot of photos like that too. But you know what? Good on her because she's not attention seeking. She
Right,
said her mission is to inspire women to, if they want to get that way, like if they want to work towards that, she wants to work with them and help them get there, right?
right,
So you're branding yourself and you brand yourself in anything that you do in life, right? You have to sell yourself. Like if there's something that you're passionate about, you have to sell yourself. You have to sell your passion. You
right,
have to brand yourself. So she's branding herself. She's
okay,
showing people that, hey, this is what I've worked towards.
mm-hmm.
And you can work towards it too with my help, right? Type deal. Like, I don't in a negative atmosphere anymore. I choose to kind of shift my thinking.
Right,
I'm not in the perfect shape that I want to be in. Like I'm striving for something more, but I think in fitness we're always striving for something more. We're never
right,
happy. But that's fitness. We are always trying to work towards a better version of ourselves. If we set a goal, we're still trying to work towards a better goal afterwards once we meet that one. So I don't think that they're attention seeking. Sometimes I am like, I wish I could look like her, but then I remind myself that everyone's individual and you don't know what other people are going through and
mm-hmm.
you don't know why they're doing this. So just, you have to keep an open mind. We're too small minded, I think.
Well,
That's a
and I
problem.
mean, I'm not saying that all the people on there do that, but I just I think that you know like I get like I hear what you're saying, and I don't think that I don't think that every woman or guy on there is attention seeking or
Mm-hmm.
um but I think do you I guess you kind of answered my question. Yeah.
The way I look at things is I stay in my own lane in life. So
Right.
I am working towards the best version of me. I'm working towards the better goals, like my goals in life, and comparison kills. So if
Okay.
you're comparing yourself to someone else, they're on a totally different journey than you. They have different goals than you. They're at a different point in their life than you. You don't know what they're going through.
Right.
So stay in your own lane. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on you because once you start focusing on others, you're shifting away from what you want to get to. So
Right.
I notice that every time I'm in the gym and I'm
Mm-hmm.
comparing myself to other women in the gym, I notice that I'm this much. This is my path. This like my path is this way, and once I compare myself, I'm going off my path. So I
Right.
need to just stay in my own lane and focus on me. So I don't look at other people and judge what they're doing, or I don't. Like, I don't make assumptions because that doesn't get us anywhere in life. And
I agree.
I realize, like, once you shift your mindset and realize that the important people in your life are going to support you if they really care about you, and opinions of others who don't matter doesn't pay for your happiness,
Oh, 100%.
then you're golden. When you realize that other people who aren't important are irrelevant, then you just, yeah, you can soar.
Well, and then I agree with that. And my mom always tells me, she's like, it's always going to be that 10% that really care about you and the ones that are going to help. Um, and I think like that 90% of the people aren't really going to care.
No.
It's always going to be that 10%. Like, of course, there's people that I know at the gym that will say, hey, you're looking good, great. But do they really care? Like, that's. But at the same time, does it really matter? You know yourself. You know what you've done, and that's the only thing you can do is just focus on yourself and not care about what other people think. Like it's great if you get a compliment, but at the same time, you gotta if you like what you were saying, like you gotta just have to focus on yourself. And the moment that you start worrying about what other people think, I think that starts to bring that negative aspect.
It brings like that negative energy. I read a book. It was a book on recovering from an eating disorder, and it was talking about how people with eating disorders or like unhealthy relationships with food don't know how to take compliments. I'm really bad with taking compliments. For the longest time, I was like, every time someone would be like, "Oh, you look so good," or like, "Oh, you're so like fit," or "Oh, you eat so healthy," I would take that really to heart. One, I would be like, "Why are you even commenting on what I eat?" Because I was just so crazy about food, and I was just scared of it. And then two, I was like, "No, I'm ugly" in my head. And then I'm like, no, if you shift your thinking and you simply just say thank you and you just accept the compliment, and whether they were being honest and saying you look good or whether they were just giving a compliment just to give a compliment and they're not being honest, don't overthink it. Overthinking kills. So just kind of roll with it and be like, thanks, and just move on and be like, and let that make you feel good because it does make you feel good. And whether people are meaningful towards it or not, you just gotta kind of, again, stay in your own lane. Just say thank you. Just move on. Don't overthink it. It makes it worse.
Yeah, and I get it, and I think like honestly, of course, like it's not gonna feel good when people are gonna be are trying to say it. I shouldn't have hit the sauna today.
If
it
people
really
are
drained
judging
me.
you negatively?
Yeah, like if they say something negative to you, obviously it's not gonna feel good. So if they're doing this total opposite, yeah, it should make you feel good.
What I always say is the key to success and happiness is to realize that people are going to judge you whether you're doing good or bad. So it's a matter of just being happy with yourself. So if you're happy with what you're doing, then to just keep doing it because people will judge you whether you're doing good for yourself or whether you're doing bad for yourself, and that's their own beef. So maybe they have their own issues like internally that they need to figure out, but you just gotta let it go.
100%. It's like going on the dance floor and not caring what anybody thinks. If you're having fun and
exactly,
and if you're doing it, just do it. I mean, because people like dance. Yeah. Didn't you say you were into dance, or was that somebody else?
I was. I'm known as Dancer Brit all around Chatham.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that was my Instagram name for a long time.
Did you have like your own studio, or was it more just?
No, I just danced when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
It was fun.
And then people just call you Dancing Brit.
Dancer Brit, yep, because I made it my Instagram name.
Oh, that's awesome. So what made you stop doing that?
Oh, I played rugby in high school, and I figured I liked rugby more than I liked dance.
Rugby? What school did you go to?
The Pines.
Pines. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was rugby. What teams was there? Because I know that, okay, you got UCC. So CK had rugby?
CK had rugby, and so did Blenheim.
Blenheim, okay. I don't think Chatham, John McGregor
No,
did.
they didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say because, well, you're what, 21, 22?
21.
21, and, yeah, okay. Well, I guess. Well, things could have changed. Well, no, not really, because I was 24. I would have been 17, 18. Yeah, well, I don't remember there was ever any rugby at McGregor. So, yeah, I think it was just those schools. So, like, rugby, isn't that like, it's kind of like football, but soccer at the same time in a way, right?
Yeah, you pass the ball backwards and you tackle a lot of people.
And you got like no equipment or
No,
anything.
you have no equipment. It's so fun. I signed up for rugby in grade 10 because I knew there was a lot of running involved.
Mm-hmm.
And grade 10 was when I started running a lot, and that's when I started losing a lot of weight.
Right.
So that's why I signed up for rugby, and then I realized this is very good for getting your frustration out, and it's really fun.
It is fun, yeah, and when you hit someone out. I always thought that like football was like a really rough sport until you do rugby and you got no equipment. So if you get hit, there's nothing protecting you.
Yeah, lots of concussions in rugby.
Oh my god. And you don't wear a helmet either, right?
No.
Oh my god. Like, can you just imagine the headbutting? Oh, that would hurt.
I was winded a few times on the field.
Oh, no doubt.
It was a good time.
But I don't know. I think that I don't know. I don't think I could do rugby. So props to you.
So fun. Loved it. Made some best friendships in there. My best friend Brooke is like I made her friends with her because of rugby.
Okay. There's a guy that he trains with us at my MMA club, or like my boxing. Well, we call it's basically MMA now. It started off as boxing, but he's kind of helps coach once in a while. His daughter did rugby. Do you know Victoria Kimberly?
No.
Okay, maybe not. I know. I think she did rugby, and she played. No, no. I think she went to CK. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Because she's probably around the same age as you.
I probably played against her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to just thank you for being on my podcast, and I think that you have a lot of good, positive ideas, and I really just appreciate you sharing all that. You know.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks guys for listening, and tune in for the next one. Thanks.